It's always a good idea before you install something like this permanently, because you're not going to get this off, just make sure the lights work. Just if you have a little 12-volt battery or even a 9-volt battery, we'll turn these lights on and make sure they're all illuminating. It's very, very rare, but sometimes you do have a problem where one of the lights will go out, and you really don't want to have to deal with that. So it's always a good idea to check it. 9-volt battery will do it just fine. Okay, today we're going to show you how to install 2018 F-150 tailgate cover or upgrade. A couple things you got to do. Before you go into applying anything, you really have to do a nice job of prepping the tailgate. Now typically the back of a pickup truck likes to attract a lot of dirt. So what you're going to want to do is get rid of the dirt, wash it off with soap and water. Once that's all cleaned, the next thing is to make sure there's no wax or any paint sealants on it. To take that off, if you should have that on there, scrub this down with regular household rubbing alcohol, works fine. There are chemicals that you can use, like wax removers and adhesive removers, but rubbing alcohol actually works pretty well. Once you're certain that there are no waxes on it, and you can check that by just applying a little masking tape and see how well the masking tape tacks up. If it tacks up pretty good, you've done a good job of getting the wax and stuff off. Your kit's going to come with several of these packets, and what's in here is a little yellow sponge and some watery fluid. This is an adhesive promoter. It's very, very important that you use this to make sure that the part permanently attaches to the paint without kind of lifting off. What you'll do is you'll open this up and you'll squeeze that out, and then you'll kind of rub that little yellow sponge over these two areas, this bottom area and then basically the whole panel itself. Now, for the sake of the video, we've already done that. One of the things that you'll also have to do is to mark center. Measure it out, mark it dead center. We like to use a grease pencil like this. Right here up in this top right body line here, you're going to want to put your placement mark. This is where the new panel is going to set on each corner. Your panels are going to come to you with a pre-installed center mark. So all you really have to do is line up your center mark and meet you up at your corners. You're going to need somebody to help you with that. It's kind of a wide panel. The panels are not going to let you stick it and they say, oh, I'm crooked, and pull it off and re-stick it. So you're going to have somebody help you do that. There is some mild preparation you'll have to do. It's curved, see? If you try to take the panel and force the glue to match the shape, what's going to happen over time, expansion, contraction, hot and cold, it's going to lift off. We've set up the panels to have this mild curve to it. However, you really have to go further. Make sure that the contour is exactly perfect. You do not want this to lift off on you. Critical that you put a little bit more effort to it just to make sure that it's contoured very well. These are the kits. This is our basic kit, the 2 pieces. It's going to come to you pre-shaped a little. You're going to want to further shape it just to make sure that it's right. This piece is going to come to you flat. We're going to show you exactly how to contour that. Very easy thing to do. In order to shape the panels on a nice long table, all you're going to do is just kind of like shape it like that. The metal is not so thick where you're going to have a hard time doing this. It's actually very simple. So you're just going to want to make sure that you've got a nice shape to it. Now, you go to the car and you check this. You can see that this is shaped out pretty good. It's a little bit there. You're going to want to continue that so that you have a positive shape here. You don't want this popping off on you. You're just going to go over to the table, do a little bit more shaping. And it's just as easy as that. Panel's going to come to you pre-installed center mark. This is just to help you set this exactly in the center of the tailgate. This particular kit, first part you're going to start with is the lower section. One of the things you're going to notice when you start putting this on is that this too also has a little bit of a curve to it. Instead of this being curved to try and match it, what we've done is we've made this panel a little bit longer so that from this very edge to where it lands, it's going to take in that slight little curve. In order to install this, you're basically going to line this up, and you want to put it, you know where your center mark is, and you want to put it right on that ridge. Make sure you're centered, put a little bit of tape. Taping this in position is what's going to allow you to shape it. Because you have some weird contours there, you have to kind of press the panel into those contours as you're shaping it. So like we're going to start with this main one here, which is what you're going to do is just kind of push this and then shape the metal just like that. And that's the way you're going to shape the rest of it too. You just want to follow the contour so that when this goes in, it'll match its positions. So you want to make sure that when you stick this on, that you're not sticking it on and allowing the glue to hold it. You got to make sure that the panel will contour just like that. That's about as easy as that is. It's just a matter of just shaping it a little bit, taking a few minutes to just contour it. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll get to the main panel. So now that the panel is shaped, you can see it's contoured pretty nicely, and it matches up really good. This is very aggressive adhesive. It's not going to allow you to stick it in the wrong position and then re-stick it. You want to be pretty sure about your placement. Now, we've go ahead and put in little marks to hit the body line right on point. See? Now, you just want to practice putting this in position. Just give yourself a couple little practice shots. When you feel pretty confident that you can place this, you can just go ahead and peel and stick it. Now, I'm going to get somebody to help me just to make sure we hit this on point. To start the installation of this, you're just going to want to kind of flip this a little, peeling, and just have it peeled out just like that. Because we'll be able to kind of peel that out as we're installing it. You just line it up on your center mark, make sure you're centered. You can actually start you're going to notice that your part is going to want to sit underneath the line a little bit. This is so that this will tuck nicely underneath the top panel. If this was all the way up here, the panel would kind of be sitting on top of this and you'd have a gap here. So you just want to set it right underneath your body line, just like that. Really important is to set the bond. It's not a matter of just sticking it. You really have to go in and press it so that you make sure that this is going to stay stuck. Best way to do that is with a nice terry cloth or microfiber, and really just press it in. This is really, really important to do this. Okay. Now you can see that just took a few minutes to do. Really not too tough to bend. Again, the metal is thin enough where it'll allow you to just contour this by hand. The truck itself, you know, is very curvy, and you're putting on a flat piece of panel. So don't worry about if you have like small little contour issues. It's not going to be anything that's going to be significant or hurt anything down the road. That's pretty much how it was designed. Once this section is done, you can just kind of pull the liner. You don't want to pull the liner off before that, because you'll kind of just goober it all up with fingerprints and stuff. So you want to keep it clean. When you're done installing it, you just go ahead and peel the liner. All right, now we're going to move on to the main panel. This is our illuminated version. It's a brushed insert with a nice polished trim on it. We've installed LEDs. It looks really, really cool. Before you go and stick anything, you got to check and make sure the contours are right. Practice setting it in position. See how we've got a nice shape here? This is exactly what you want. You do not want this to be sticking out like this and have the tape stick it for you. We're going to just kind of peel the tape out as we go. We're just going to set this in center. You up to line? Do that a little bit. Yeah. That's about as easy as that goes on. again, you have to take your cloth and really press it to the body. This is what's going to make sure that this stays stuck. If you don't do that, what could happen is, rain and elements and things can get stuck behind it. You want this thing to be completely sealed to the truck. There you go, and just kind of rub this out. This kit comes with a trim ring that we're going to give you. We give that to you separately because of this. Let me show you. You see how just the tolerances are? I mean, if we would have put this up a little bit more, we might have had a more even gap here. But the tolerances are so hard to match up to the oval. We're going to give you the oval so then you can make this perfect. And that's why it's going to come separately and not attached to the part. Before we peel this and finish that, we're going to install the light. If you look, right where your hinge is, there's an opening here. So we're going to sneak our wire through that opening and up to the light. And I'll show you exactly how to connect that. Your kit's going to come with a little roll of butyl putty. This is what we're going to use to hide the wire and attach the wire all the way up to that hole. This is the same kind of stuff that holds your windshield in, so it's very reliable, doesn't usually dry out. Just take some of this putty. I'm going to ask you to tape your wire right to the tailgate. I want to make sure it's flat. Okay, fold it over and then just putty it to the tailgate, just like that. Right there, we'll hold this permanently. That's going to do a nice job of holding that wire permanently in place. We like to leave the wire from the tailgate to that hole loose. The tailgate goes up and down and up and down. It's not causing the wire to rub against the hole or anything like that. You just leave it loose. It's not even going to be noticeable. This way it'll move freely and you won't have any problems in the future. What we're going to do is take the light off. There's two 8mm bolts right here. The light has these three pins. There's one here and then there's two on the side. And you got to kind of yank it. It's going to feel like it doesn't want to come out, but you give it a good yank and it'll come forward. Just make sure you hold on to the light real well so you don't drop it. Once you have access to this, we'll show you exactly where to connect. Now there's three colors here. Black wire, which is your ground. Brown wire, which is actually your turn signal or brake light. You don't want to use that one. You want to use your parking light, which is the yellow wire. We're going to ask you to cut these and then reconnect them with the new wires attached. The best way to do this is to solder it. This one will work fine. Just gonna prep everything so you can go ahead and put all this stuff together. And your black and your yellow is what you're using. This bottom light has two wires connected to it because it's jumping over to the other light. But you can actually put these together. They all go to the same spot. So. Let's go ahead and connect these blacks together. Something you got to keep in mind when you use a barrel connector like this is that if you crimp it too hard, you'll actually cut the wire and it can fail down the road. Just want to snug it, make sure that's, attached, but don't go squeezing the bejesus out of this thing with your crimp tool because you'll cut the wire. So, as long as you keep that in mind, you won't have troubles later on. You know where you crimp this? You don't want to crimp it on the other side. You want to keep these crimps in the same row because if you twist it like that, what you can actually do is open one crimp by crimping it another. So you want to keep it in the same alignment like that. Okay. So that is a completed connection. Very reliable. You shouldn't have any problems with that. It's not going to oxidize or rust out or anything like that. Now, when you're putting this in, you got to align these pins with their sockets. See, there's one here, there's one up here, somewhere up here, and then here, and then here. So I'm just going to line that up first, and then you can go ahead and push it in. Pretty much the entire electrical hookup. Rub off these marks. You can use their alcohol for that. Once we put this in, we can position it, and it really makes it look pretty cool. When you're cleaning this, you just don't want to start scrubbing it, especially in a tailgate, which typically pick up a lot of road grime and dirt and stuff. You don't want to be taking your cloth and scrubbing that off because you're going to scratch everything. The best way, and first of all, your kit is going to have instructions for this. What you want to use is microfiber. Microfiber is the most harmless cloth. You should use a clean one all the time. You can use quick detailers to clean it. It'd be great if you had a duster, California duster, great little tool to have, really for just about everything on the car. You know, you can safely kind of dust this off before you actually clean it. We like to use, McGuire's makes a real good one, Ultimate Quick Detailers is excellent. When you're cleaning it, okay, don't want to spray the quick detail right on your part. That's just going to force you to scrub it off. You just want to lightly dust your rag, and then go ahead and clean your part. So you just want to dust. Okay, that's all you got to do. You see like a little fingerprint here? You just kind of clean that off. And then this will flash off really quickly without leaving streaks and stuff. And you can use this on all the polished area. We make an excellent quick wax of our own design. It's called Metaglaze. It works excellent on all the polished trim, and you would apply it the same way. You just spray a little bit on your rag, and you just kind of dust it around until it's nice and clean, shining like that.